Hey again, kids. It's trying to fly the 500 Sonic Turkey. I read on the forums this morning that the torque tube version that there was trouble with. Yeah, I'd read that previously. The gears don't mesh right. If I haven't made this abundantly clear, rcgroups.com. They have wonderful threads on the HK450. There's 1,000 pages, which is 3,000 posts. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you start skimming through them, you can get to where you need to be pretty quick. In fact, it goes on that the excuse me, the thread was so large they extended it to the HK450 GT story continue rather than continues. But yeah, neat stuff. I got the GT version. It suited my pocketbook, and it didn't seem to have as many flaws. I guess this thing's about a year old or so, and the tails would come apart with monotonous consistency. Mine hasn't. Probably ought to stay out of the way, huh? Been a great bird. The only problem I ran into with it was the crappy orange receiver. Now you'll see an orange receiver on here, but it ain't Hobby King's DSRM. It's a 6100E. I got away from the orange since I lost the channel on it, the rudder channel. So I posted previously, it didn't have the decency to up and die on me. It inconsistently died on me. Yeah, it's a little windy out here. It's about 10 to 15, and unlike my friend Rob, who is intrepid with the wind, I am not comfy with it. Even though this thing will tolerate just all kinds of wind, I'm not quite comfy with it yet. But anywho, this is the tail drive version, and as soon as my semi-self-imposed moratorium against spending way the hell too much money on remote control helicopters is up, now we're at 20 knots, I'm going to pry my wallet open and buy a torque tube for this. And for those of you that have been flying a while, and those of you that will be flying, I highly recommend what I'm fixing to do is start replacing servo connectors, the black, ball link connectors, and get shed of them things. They've been pulled off about 3,000 times on all my birds, and why they hold on is beyond me, and it's time to start doing some maintenance that way. But yeah, there's the Sonic Turkey in all its glory. Once a skilled flyer knows how to get a hold of it, this wind thing really doesn't mean a whole lot to it. Doggone thing, it's so heavy when you're doing fast forward flight, it really doesn't get screwed with. I look forward to y'all getting your 500s in the air, not to get too far off topic, because frankly it really isn't. They're very similar, just bigger. About the only problem I have with this is the tail box where it meshes in with the tail drive assembly, for lack of better terms, tail gear and tail drive assembly. It's kind of ganky. The 450 is a better way of doing it. If you have to do any service on this, you have to disassemble that. You got to pull 6 or 8 screws and slide the entire assembly out, which I don't care for. I think that's a poor design. There's got to be a better way. But nice fish tanking. Rob, thanks for carrying the Pro out today. That was a neat flight. You chased the MILF and the dogs around. That was funny. Appreciate the shout out. You gotta love eye candy. But that's the 500 series there. And for those of you that are embarking on it, you'll love it. Just flat out easier to work on. I'm getting 11 minutes out of my $29 a piece batteries, and 13T. I need to move down to 12. I'll probably end up flying for 15 minutes. I wish one of y'all would come over to my house and beat me with a stick and make me use a simulator, because I'm not going to advance beyond this. You've heard this mantra from me before. Just driving me insane. I cannot find time, make time to stand in front of my television and horse around with a simulator. That's carbon fiber blades. Regular fly bar, the original stock fly bar. I actually have a nick out of one of them where I dumped it, or somebody used the term augered. That would be the slow version of stuffing your helicopter into the ground. Luckily, I was only a few feet off the ground on both my crashes, so I smoked some skids, and that's about it. Ooh, there's a nice 25 knot gust. We'll burn up this battery pack, and I'll go home nice and quietly, and hopefully my birds will be intact. Ooh, you feel that? That's fast. That's 25 to 30. But the GA 250 gyro is holding on nice and tight. I'm looking forward to the next generation. I'm gonna go ahead and buy me a couple more just for posterity. I've got two, and on my Terror Pigeon I'm using an E-flite. Rob, you can appreciate this. I'm using E-flite Piezo, which is on our Blade SR. It's a great little gyro. Talking about leaving well enough alone, it performs wonderfully. Absolutely wonderfully. So I'm leaving it where it be. Holds the tail, works perfectly. Well, this is the 10-acre field near my house. Someone owns it, and I guess one day I might get chased off, but kind of the way it works here in the States is same as the military there, Wes. You do it, and if you get busted, you ask for forgiveness. But if you ask for permission straight up, they're not going to do it. You know, there's a terrible liability associated with letting people on your land out here. And so in essence, I'm doing a little minor trespassing. It's not posted, and there's no cows out here, so it's open field. Isn't that a neat aircraft? I guess you can't quite understand the scale of it where you're sitting, but if you saw it on my bumper earlier, it's, if not anything, for the guys that are closer to 50 than they are to 40, it's a sweet size, because when you get up to the 700, and I think one of our forum members has a 700, might even be Sean from Texas, having to use forward on this to keep her level. It's the 700 I really wouldn't feel comfortable bringing out like where Rob's flying with the MILF and the dogs. But this size, yeah, you're pretty cool. I mean, it's a nice size. You know, it ain't unbelievably loud like the 700, which will bring attention to you. Excuse me. But anywho, well, I'm off this morning. I work this evening. You've seen that airboat in my yard. I've got to take it out to an area where there's a bunch of really bad guys, and I've generated what we call a detail. There's going to be a whole lot of cops out in this one area where we'll be working until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's an area where we haven't worked previously to any degree. So we're going to go out and see if we can't see what's going on out there. It's been an area in the past that's been bad news, and we're going to go out and see what everybody's up to. We've had some pretty bad guys out there previously, so. Well, happy late February. Gosh, my March is going to be busy. I'm If I haven't mentioned previously, which I know I have, I'm celebrating my 25th with my lovely bride. We're going to take off for 3 days, and that'll be a no helicopter day. I think I'm getting into LV's low voltage. Taking off to the music festival here in the spring. That was unceremonious. And doing some camping there and doing some camping at the end of the month. So gonna have a busy March. Gotta send this radio off to Horizon. It's gonna be gone, what I say, about 3 weeks probably. Let them go over it and send it back, and then it goes up on the auction block, and it's time to grow up and get me a 7. I think I will like the 7 a whole lot. I saw one move for about 100, brand new. These people are selling them on the internet. Saw one move for about 170 bucks the other day on eBay. I'll do that, or either go down and throw my local hobby shop a bone and buy a $199 plus tax one, which is probably the route I'm gonna go. It's the right thing to do. But anywho, that's the fleet, guys. If any of you have passed out and hit your head on your computer desk from my blathering, well, I kind of apologize. But I hope all is well in your world. And I think I'm done out here flying today. I don't want to stuff anything. Have a good one, guys, and we'll see you on the web.